Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. We're continuing with the Fatal Fury City of the Wolves coverage on the channel, and today we're talking character specifics, in that we're specifically talking about Preecha in this video. Now, I know Preecha's technically not new or anything like that. You know, she was announced basically when the game was announced, but there's really not much info about her out there. And to the point, every time I make a post about Preecha on Twitter, it always gets thousands and thousands of likes, which tells me there's a hunger for info about this character, in that she's hitting harder than some of the other traditional characters everyone already knows everything about. So in this video, we're going to talk all things Preecha, because, you know, I did get hands-on time with her and other characters at the Summer Game Fest, and I learned a decent amount about her. Some of the things I knew, and some of the things I had no idea she even had. Because even me, like, I learned about the characters and like, oh, I just never saw this thing showed off in one way or another. So out of the gate, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves set further along in the Fatal Fury timeline. Preecha is indeed the student of the famed Joe Higashi. Now that said, even though she shares many cosmetic similarities with Joe, like say using wind-based attacks, they're both Muay Thai users as well. The similarities are cosmetic. She's very much her own character, and she is not a direct replacement for Joe. Especially when it comes to like the personality end of things. She's an actual scientist, whereas Joe... let's just say Joe probably didn't have a formal education. Specifically, she's just kind of investigating key energy in the context of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, and is in Southtown for exactly those reasons, to investigate. She fights for science, not for the sake of fighting like so many other characters. And basically, she's just a really big old nerd. You can get a lot of this out of her move list as well, like certain moves of hers are just called like sine cosine. She's in it for the glory of the science. Certainly a big part of the appeal of the character is basically she's just kind of a big nerdy dork and acts kind of silly. Like her SPG attack, she swings so hard her hand actually catches fire, and she has to like desperately shake her hand off to get the flames off. She's not Ken Masters. She's not doing this on purpose, right? She's kind of figuring it out as she goes. Like just about every attack she does, her dashes, everything, she's holding on to her glasses desperately so they don't fall off. She's basically like Velma. If Velma was a fighting game character and not that new awful show, classic Velma. So that's what the character's about. Let's talk about her and her gameplay next. Once again, it's very similar to Joe, but not exactly like Joe. She's her own thing. So yes, very much we have a lot of wind-based attacks, and we'll get more in depth on that in a moment. As far as SPGs, she has a long-reaching forward one, which is good for going through fireballs, and the air one is very similar to Joe's axe kick, although not quite as fast, not used the same way, but it does have armor. Her normals are proficient. They're definitely not the best of the characters I've seen, although there's still some good range, like Stand Heavy Kick has some very respectable range. She's meant more to maul you up close or kind of poke with her projectiles, which we'll talk about, but she does have some fun traits. Maybe not the biggest normals in the business. Her link game is very good, as she can link lights into close heavies. Gives her stronger than average hit confirms. Not the only character that can do it, but it's still good. And she can also link close heavies back into lights. So her upfront pressure, hit confirms, all that, very strong. And she has a light kick, heavy kick target combo that's just a natural combo in and of itself that seems really strong for just general harassment. And multi-hitting air strings that'll definitely blow up your just defense attempts. So her projectile, there's two versions, light kick, heavy kick. The light kick is all right range, although it doesn't quite go full screen. More of a mid-range harassing tool. As you can see here, it kind of whiffs out full screen, and that's fine, because you don't want it to go full screen necessarily, because that's an easy just defense. And unlike Street Fighter 6, there's an actual giant reward for just defending fireballs from full screen, because you'll get health back. So the heavy and EX fireballs both go full screen, although the main use is more of like a counter fireball thing, as like a double Rapuken. The first hit of the heavy kick version in EX will actually destroy fireballs, and then kind of send yours on the way. And they're also good up front, and it is breakable. So you can do the first hit and then like not do the second. Its use as a break is not as immediately obvious to me as say like the uppercut is, but I'm sure there's got to be something there, just needed a little bit more time. Rising knee, the uppercut as it were. So light kick version, full invincible. Heavy kick version is the break version, so you can use that in combos, end the move early, then extend your combos. And all of them have follow-ups as well. There's no reason not to do the follow-up as far as I can tell. The axe kick follow-up it's just more damage. Maybe there's specifically like a knockdown setup you get if you don't go for it. I didn't have enough time to test. That's it right there. But still, yeah, it's a perfectly serviceable reversal style move. Great for getting people off of you and great for combos. Also, the heavy kick break and the EX break are separate breaks, so you can use it twice in one combo. And if you're getting confused when I say breaks, here's an example combo. So first, here's that light in the heavy link I talked about. We go into one of our EXs. This is our Rekka move, which we'll talk about in a second. Cancel into another EX move, which we'll also talk about. And this move's really good, by the way. And then here we go. Uppercut break. So we finish the move early. Don't go for the entire move. Go for our EX fireball and then go for our big fancy super, right? So that combo is only possible on the back of the break. We're pumping the brakes on the move as you would, right? We're not getting the full animation. It lets us re-juggle and then kind of continue our combo from there. Break moves are very important to just the general combo structure of this game for just about every character. Back to specials, we talked the Rekka series. So basically she just has a special where you can keep mashing forward, keep getting more hits. It is just really strong for just general hit confirms. The EX version really strong for longer combos as it launches. Now, next special to talk about here, this is one of the reasons why she doesn't need a full screen fireball, because she has this giant leaping jaguar kick, which is kind of, honestly, just a giant neutral skip. And if you get your hit in, it doesn't naturally combo by itself, but it has huge range. It's basically safe on block in my testing. The EX version very strong for combos that we saw just earlier, right? When you use it EX and EX and EX. Once again, very strong in neutral, because if you land it as a counter hit, you can actually link into it and combo after the fact. So this is extra good, especially because it's airborne. Many fireballs in Fatal Fury and SNK games in general are low to the ground. So you can go right over that fireball and then potentially land a full combo if you get them on the other side of it. Definitely one of Preecha's better moves in my opinion. Now here's one of the ones I didn't even know she had going into this, and I watched a bunch of footage and I didn't even know she had this move, right? So she has a whole sequence where she'll do like a backstep and she has multiple follow-ups. And this is the mix-up, because one of the follow-ups is a true overhead, like she'll do an elbow down on your head and you have to block that standing. Another one is the kick, and the kick is a low and it goes into basically like a hit grab animation, goes into the Muay Thai clinch and then just like pummels you to dust with the knees. And then also one out of Joe's playbook here, just a giant bazooka knee. So she also has canned mix-ups on top of everything else. You can just spin and immediately they gotta guess overhead low. And the knee, who knows? I just didn't have enough time to test everything, right? Could be plus on block, could be really good in combos, but more options always equals more better. As for her super moves, she has Joe's classic tornadoes, although they don't quite have the range. Like, you definitely have to be up close and personal if you want to land these. So I don't have the benefit of training mode with my time and my testing, but this might be like the more damaging normal super. We have her rush super. This one seems like the easier one to get in combos. It just goes like the majority of the screen almost instantly. Big F off punch. And I like the line read on the super.
If you're not unbreakable, you must have a weakness!
Oh, perfect day!
Also, the extra big cinematic super, the hidden gear.
QED.
K.O.
And that's sort of where we're at with Preecha, just on the basics anyway. I didn't have tons of time with the character, wish I could have had more, but I'm impressed. It's not the kind of character I thought I would like. She's not big, she doesn't have command grabs, and I still like her. So I think that's a really good indicator of quality, at least as far as, you know, the rooflemonger is concerned. Especially because I just want to learn more, because she's one of the announced launch characters, right? When the game got announced, and we knew almost nothing about her. So hopefully, now that you've watched this video, you know more about her in general and can appreciate the character a bit more. The only thing I'll find frustrating about her is not the game's fault in any way, shape, or form. It's just as I was learning her combo structure, and now that I'm back home, I realized I only scratched the surface, and there's actually so much more crazy stuff I could have learned and could have done, but I guess that'll have to wait for the next time I get my hands on the game. Nerd characters are not exactly common in fighters, right? We got all sorts of tough guys and ladies, but like the actual just straight up nerdy dork, not so much. So just her existing, I think, is really fun as well, right? She's not a normal kind of character you would see in a fighter. A lot of the returning characters, well, they're the returning characters. We already know about them, right? But at least for my money, I feel like Preecha's kind of oozing personality, and I dig it. So anyways, all that said, that is the video. That is the info I have for you for now. I'll try to get out another video like this on Vox Reaper specifically, because I think he's also pretty cool and pretty interesting. And other than that, well, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Fatal Fury.